Welcome to the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm Simona Costantini, blogger, storyteller, and life enthusiast. Each week, I will bring you an idea, guest, or positive thought to help inspire you to create happiness and live on purpose. We decide the stories we tell ourselves and where we choose to invest our energy. It's time to cultivate a positive mind for a positive, more meaningful life. I'm so grateful you popped in. Now let's get started. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in yet again for another episode this week. I wanted to start off with saying how the last week or two have really been interesting for me. I've been in a really limbo-ish place and have been doubting myself and this podcast entirely. I'm not really sure where this is all coming from or why it's coming up, but I do want to let you know that it's okay to not feel 100% every single day, and it's okay to have these feelings of doubt and feeling unsure, but it's so important to keep showing up for what it is we want to do and to help others along the way. What I do know is how much I love being on here with you and chatting about whatever topic comes up each week. I have to say, though, that this weekend and over the last few days, I've been feeling more inspired than I have been lately, which is awesome. And I went to this mastermind today, which was so incredible. And I'll share more about it and the experience once I have the chance to kind of pull all of my thoughts together and digest all the content that was talked about today, because there was so much to learn and so much growth will happen from here. So I'm really excited about that. I also wanted to share with you that this podcast is now on the 6th episode. And we are so close to 200 downloads, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I'm so grateful and so inspired to create more of what it is you want to hear and learn about. This seriously and truly could not have happened without you listening. So I really just want you to know how much I appreciate it and how grateful I am that you're here and that you show up to listen to this podcast every week. And I really hope that it adds a little bit of happiness into your life every day. As always, feel free to leave a review on the podcast channel or rate the podcast on iTunes. This is one of the best ways to let us know if you're enjoying the show, and is also an opportunity to let us know the kind of stuff that you want to hear. So, I want to make sure that this podcast is something that you enjoy and that you love, and in turn would be so appreciative if you told me what it is you want to hear more of. I feel like I'm talking about all these exciting things that are going on because there is so much exciting stuff happening, and there's a lot of stuff happening this week. We're still into the 28 Kind Day Challenge, which has been incredible. And I know some, if not most people, have been participating in this challenge, whether you're doing it on social media or if you're doing it on your own and just letting me know about it. The highlight for me right now of this challenge and where I'm really living in it is the idea that we all have the opportunity every day to create happiness, kindness, abundance, and a new perspective for everyone around us. So you might be asking, what do I mean by this? How can this even be happening? When you are light, you spread light, and other people feel your light, which in different terms means when you do good, you spread all that is good, and people feel that goodness. Your act of kindness, your service to other people, and your smile when it's least expected, all of these things have a lasting impression and have a multiplying effect on other people, and then the people that they interact with. So it's kind of like a domino effect. You do good for one person feels better about their own day and their own journey, so they pass along that goodness and that happiness to somebody else, and it's really a domino effect. So you might only have to smile to one person, but really 20 people have been impacted by your one decision, which is amazing. I hope that you're all keeping on with this challenge, whether it's in your personal life or on social media with me. It's really worth doing for 28 days and then pretty much every day of your life after that. It's how we begin to form habits and how we begin to form good habits. And this is one that I think is really worth integrating into your daily life. In addition to all of this good stuff, I've created this video for all of you that will be launching on my YouTube channel this week. It's all about the creation of the Happiness Happens podcast and how it came to be. It also has steps on what to expect when you're creating your own podcast, things I've learned along the way, and fun facts that might save you hours of time if you're planning on launching one. I know that I really could have used all of that information when I first started, so I really wanted to create something that was useful and helpful for people who are just starting out a podcast, or maybe you're unsure of how to go about doing it. It was really created with that in mind and providing some kind of value to the people who really need it. So this video will be up this week. Be sure to keep an eye out on my Instagram and my Facebook pages for the link. And if you don't follow me on these social channels and you want it, feel free to leave me a comment or send me a note. I'm more than happy to share it with you. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the holiday around the corner, which is Valentine's Day. You know, we see right now, and for like the last little bit, all of these different treats in the stores, gifts to buy the special people in our lives, and so on and so forth, all the cards and this and that. One of the things that I've really been stressing through this 28 Kind Day challenge is how important it is to love yourself and remember yourself in the midst of it all. This holiday can be really great for some people and then really shitty for others. Some people just really love it and like get really into it, and then some people just couldn't care less about it and really feel like Valentine's Day is every day. And I mean, some people probably just really hate it altogether and have no care in the world for it. Sometimes it can be like another annoying reminder of why we're single and so on. So I totally can understand both sides of this holiday. And I know this may sound silly coming from me because I'm not single, but I can absolutely empathize on how this holiday can make some people feel. So this is why I want to hop on here today and remind you that the love you give to yourself is the most important love you can give. You can get wrapped up in buying gifts and treats and every single decor, but if you don't address what's at the root cause of any unhappiness or any sadness, then you'll really never feel like you're enough. You should always be loving yourself first and addressing your emotions first, understanding why they're showing up for you and where they're coming from. Once you start paying attention to this, you'll notice that your body and soul have been giving you nudges this entire time, and maybe you've been listening and maybe you haven't. If you are in a relationship, this theory is so important because it's so easy to get caught up in your relationship and kind of forget who you are and forget what makes you happy because you share your life with somebody else. When you bring your best you, the best version of you, to the table, you bring the very best of you to your relationships, your conversations, your job, friendships, literally everything. And this totally works like if you're single or if you're in a relationship. It really doesn't, you don't have to be in a relationship to bring the best you to the table. But it's just a gentle reminder that if you are in a relationship, you have to remember yourself and carve out time for yourself and do the things that you love to do, because the best version of you will contribute to the best relationship you can possibly ask for. And if you're single, can attract the type of people that you want in your lives. The process of finding the love that we all so desperately have for ourselves is so messy. It's never a straight line, and it can be so overwhelming and so confusing. Sometimes we think that in order to find love for ourselves, we think we have to conform to what the people around us want us to be, and so we become someone that's so far off from our true selves. This idea, it may sound crazy, but it's so common, and being someone you aren't will never get you where you want to be. But most of all, being someone you truly aren't and that doesn't feel right at your core will never bring you to a place of contentment and will never bring you peace in loving yourself. One of the things that I've noticed most over the last few weeks was how, and I was mentioning this a little bit at the beginning, was how out of touch I was feeling, and I have been feeling with myself. You know, I stopped doing the things that brought me balance and literally felt like I was walking through the motions of life without really living them, and kind of reverting back to like my old mentalities and my old ways of thinking. Some of this had to do with how much I was doubting myself and the stories that I told myself around these ideas. So really the stories that we tell ourselves can easily bring us back to a place where we don't want to be in anymore and have way more of an impact than we ever think could be actually possible. And truly, like, some feelings that I had over the last few months that have now gone away resurfaced in the last few weeks. And I was being like casted with all this like doubt and fear, and everything that I was doing is kind of based in fear. So, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, because you always think that you're kind of like past that point, but it's so easy to revert back into that point. So, someone told me today, actually it was at the mastermind that I was at, it was Ashley who was telling me, be gentle with yourself, especially when you're going through, this process. It's such a delicate process, and it's such a fun time of this journey, and it's all still so new. So being gentle with yourself and realizing that you are in this beautiful state right now, if that's where you are, is totally okay, and it's where you need to be. How we talk to ourselves impacts us so much, and what we let ourselves do, how we let ourselves fall out of alignment, is what contributes to us being someone we aren't and not living in our true, authentic selves. This leaves us searching for that true, authentic self, which is nearly impossible to find when you're out of alignment, because it's like you're reaching for something that isn't there because you're not looking in the right spot for it. I wanted to jump back super quick to one more thing about Valentine's Day, and then I'll stop about it. It's really just another day to show someone how much we love them. This year, if you're sad because you feel like you're alone, or you're missing the person you're with, or, you feel like love is just so far out for you and it's not close enough for you to grasp onto, try showing yourself the same love that you're so ready to give to everyone else. We take so many parts of ourselves and we're so eager to share them with everybody else, or we're so eager to do all of these things to make other people happy. How about we take those things that we're so quick to give away and then turn them back on our own selves and give ourselves that happiness that we deserve so much? I promise you that if you try this, it'll be worth it. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I'm so excited to share the next few podcast episodes with you in the coming weeks. There are so many great things that I want to chat about with you, and we have so many great topics and so much insight to share. So I hope you all stay tuned for next week. Until then, have an incredible week sharing the love, kindness, finding peace within yourselves, and doing acts of kindness as part of 28 kind days. Talk to you soon, you guys. Have a great week. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope these words have brought you inspiration, insight, and a bit more happiness. Please leave a comment or a review if this episode resonates with you. I would be so grateful. Until next time, remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.